that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe you're brave, boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like, oh yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason.
All right. A little something special for the WGGGMBUCC. It's a lyrical sculpture in the sand that I carve. This is Flash on the mic, now on the Algarve. From 40 to 60, we are on the attack. If I can just get some vitamin I from my back foot on the line, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or did I just pull a muscle? Hold on for a moment. Play it cool, just act like I'm young. Got flicks on my wrist and lyrics on my tongue. 10 more years left to go. Tricks from the past and a buttery flow. A little slow off the start, I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. I got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Yeah, I got some dodgy knees. Disc in my hand and the sun in the sky. My dad bod goes jiggle and my hucks they fly. My spirits are rising like a disc on the breeze, going miles out of bounds to the Portuguese seas. I played a point, yeah, I need a sub and a good long soak in an XL tub. Don't need to run anymore, I'm one of 14 handlers. Happy Gilmore this disc like we're all Adam Sandlers. I'm slow off the start, I like to call it brisk. The sunshine glints on my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. We got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Alright, let's finish this off. My 6'2" still works in the bar. I can see from miles. Got drinks on my radar. Portimão party is the place we flee for the friends we see and these great memories. Yeah, I feel the spirit as I pull every sinew. Shatter my knees, yet we're gonna continue. Take this hand, better yet carry me from the beach to the bar, better yet to the sea. I'm slow off the start. I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got none of the pivots, but all of the throws.
Hi everyone, welcome back. We are here at the beach in Portimão, Portugal for the broadcast of the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships. I'm Alana Archer, joined by Amelia Durbin. The next two teams we have playing are Nsom, Nsom from Canada, and Love Handles from the USA. Amelia, any thoughts before this game starts?
Not necessarily, as we can see, Nsom 2-0 and Love Handles 1-1. So one team had a better result in the early stages yesterday. One team has come away with a loss. America-Canada, big rivalry. I am wearing a Canada jersey, not because I'm biased, just by accident. So maybe I want the Canadians to win. Who knows?
Should I vote for the other team
well,
then?
As an American, there we go. We're representing both nations. There we are. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in this afternoon.
Perfect. Looks like the teams are just starting to take the field now, but we are into the power pool rounds. So I believe this is one of the upper power pools where I think all of the top 3 teams go into the round of 16. The final team that comes in 4th, they will go into a pre-round of 16, so essentially a crossover to get them into that bracket.
Yeah, Nsom and Nsom and Love Handles also in a pool with Hurt from Canada and Kui Down Under from Australia. Two teams that we featured on the stream yesterday. This is a good pool, some really talented teams in here. Pool K, seemingly the hard one. Just for a point on kit, I believe that NSOM are in the white jerseys and Love Handles are in the dark. And by the looks of it, Love Handles coming out on defense.
I think it's actually the other way. Love Handles are in lights.
Yes, they are.
And NSOM are going to be in darks. So NSOM starting on defense. One of their players, number 82, Ryan Jamera, he has the disc and will be pulling to the offense. Love Handles.
Wind has died down from this morning. We had a bit of a breezy couple of hours, but sun's out, the grey has gone, and the disc is on the sand. Over to you, Alana.
All right, so the pull has gone up. Disc is fairly central in the field. Hirely's backhand, just popping it over the top of the defender onto our side. Bit of a fake, kind of pushing out that reset, asking the third handler to come back. Open on the far side is Papadimitrios with a huge flick. I think the defender might have had a little touch on that, just coming over as it pops over the head of the receiver.
Yeah, just a little bit too far. Quite a tall target to hit, but disc was trailing away and they were kind of tracking backwards. Wasn't able to bring that one down.
Disc in the center looking for the flick, Huck. And coming down with it, Papadimitriou. Oh, and throwing it into the end zone with a committed receiver there hitting the ground.
I believe that's
it's Claire G.
Claire G, yeah, kind of had to take her whole body to catch that. And well handled with the gum shield in, just to be extra safe, making sure we don't get any disc to the teeth.
And NSOM starting this game on a break. Just the kind of momentum they want, especially coming out of this lunch break. I think sometimes we see teams that are a little bit slow coming off of breaks or buys, depending on their team. I think this team, they definitely played this morning. I'm not sure at what time. It could have been at the 9:30 slot. So it's been some time since they've played. NSOM surely coming out hot, though.
I believe, based off the schedule, this is in fact the first game of the day.
Wow.
For them, unless I am reading it terribly wrong. So let me just take one further look. Nope, they played this morning. They lost to Kui down under on Universe Point 8-7. They're going to be disappointed with that one.
So the pull has gone up, centered, and now on the far side with Venny Bush looking deep. Ooh. For Worley, but the defender managing to mack it and then get the second D. NSOM now moving down the field. It's Luan with the disc, looking to reset, and it's a turnover. Misconnection between Carlton and Luan. Taking some time for Love Handles just to reset themselves. Helvin with the disc now. Looking for a fellow handler, but just overthrows them. Rhonda Cracker. We've seen a fair number of these, especially that flick going downwind. It's quite difficult to put enough touch on it and not overthrow our receivers.
Yeah, this wind, albeit has dropped since this morning, is still proving tricky. On the sand, you want to be super accurate with where you're putting your throws, and the wind is just making it really hard to do so.
Druon picking up on the sideline, being trapped to the sideline, but manages to get it off the Grattan and some give-go motion, throwing deep. That was a great bid by Masou, but just too far.
Masou, yeah, fantastic bid. Reading it all the way into that far back corner, but just unlucky there. This is two messy points. A breakout at the first point, but Love Handles clearly making it tricky to both score themselves and allow the other team to score too.
Steve Helvin with the disc, just walked it up to the front cone. Faking a fair amount, not liking any of the options. Floats it up to Worley, who comes down with it. Open receiver in the middle, disc now with Venabush. Whew, almost a pick there, but Venabush keeping calm, transitioning it across to the other side. Keenan back across, and a big flick huck. Oh, just through the hands of Venebush.
Yeah, it looked like they went up with one hand, thought they needed two, and it just kind of fell between both of them. Unfortunate there. Miscommunication on field, though. Love handles have an opportunity here.
Yes, from NSOM. Drouin looking for Graton, but a miscommunication between the handlers. Keenan with the disc now for Love handles. Venebush now with the disc across to Worley. Keenan running to the break side. Fabulous cut. Continuing break, a hand on it, and a score by Rhonda Cracker.
What a cracker that goal was for Rhonda Cracker there.
That was a fabulous second attempt. You could tell when Keenan had that break side shot come in from Worley. Well done to keep an eye on the disc. And then that just popped up in the wind.
Yeah.
But Cracker did a great job to keep a hand on that.
Yeah, never give up on a disc until it's on the floor, as they say, and Love handles clearly not wanting to quit. Some close defense from NSOM, but it still stands.
With the assist, Keenan asked for a special shout out to their family. Jack and MJ, thank you so much for letting your parents come out and play.
That's nice. That's nice. Letting the parents out for a run.
Your mom sends her kisses.
The sun has dipped behind a cloud now, and I would say again the wind has picked up. The weather here on the coast has been pretty up and down all day. It's not reached the high temperatures that we normally see. Well, we saw last week and earlier this week. A little bit more breezy, a little bit more cold.
Michael Garvey there with the pull from Love handles. It goes quite deep into the end zone. Fielded by Brissett. Sent it across to Jeremiah. Moved to Guy, across to Brissett. Continuing that flow, but that was a fantastic layout D from number 4, Michael Garvey from Love handles.
That had a really satisfying kind of slap, didn't it, as the hand came in.
You could see him doing a bit of exercise on his shoulder as he got up there. Hopefully that stays all right. Dalila Chu with the disc, resets to Garvey. Think there might be a call on the field, potentially a pick or a foul based on the hand signals. Injury called as well. Michael Garvey, who had that layout D, you could tell he was a bit sensitive on his shoulder. Hopefully that is okay.
Yeah, I hope so.
But always best to take a second. Ben Potash coming in and to replace him. I don't believe NSOM have taken a substitute themselves, but Potash just giving the disc back to Chu, which is where the disc must have been when the foul originally had occurred.
Yeah, an interesting option not to take an injury sub, but
oh, great collection there by Albenberg. I don't think that was the intended receiver, but good to stay heads up. Resetting to Chu. And swinging across to Albenberg now. Disc back to Chu. A layout attempt from number 16, Mathieu Dessol from NSOM. That might have just been enough to put off the receiver there. Disc with Jeremiah. Huck going deep. And that is a score. Ryan Jerima. Fantastic motion from the handless space.
Yeah, really good there after that injury sub. And NSOM just able to slot one in, and now coming out on defense. One thing I want to say about this Love handles team, they're tall. Seeing that O-line go out there, I'm only 5'2", and I'm thinking they're all at least 5'8" or taller. On beach, that is a huge, huge thing to have height advantage. So interesting to see what this team can do now. They're shooting upwind, which means they're going to want to stop their throws from bobbling up in the wind. kind of wanting to be keeping them low and fast and making sure that they don't go skyward. From around the sandy pitches here, we've got loads of games going on, and we'll give you a score update on the rest of this pool shortly.
Fielded by Katz and brought across by Helvin. With the disc there was Venenbush. Shot to Worley. Some big pressure by NSOM. Back to Venenbush. Shooting deep to a female matching player. Can't quite see the number there. I believe it's Ponetta. Just dropped in that wind, a bit short. Oh,
so close on that bid. Just unfortunate there. The wind is really starting to pick up now. Shooting downwind now are NSOM, and I think that's a big advantage for them.
Disc on the far side, centered back into the middle. Luan giving go motion. Millet with the disc to Graton. I think a travel called. Open receiver on the break side, but that was scooped up by the defense.
Swatted away.
Mark Worley, open receiver in the middle of the field. Helvin shooting disc deep. Oh, to Venenbush and just overthrown.
Getting a little bit tennisy out there. We're getting discs thrown back and forth from both teams. It's a close game. There's not that much in it. However, seemingly both teams struggling to get it in the end zone.
Luan with the disc, faking the high release, but opting to recenter. Millet with the disc to Dupre. Across to Luan. Something has been called there.
I think potentially a travel call. Not sure I saw that myself, but can't necessarily contest the travel, so disc goes back.
Oh, and another miscommunication there between the two handlers. Graton thought to be opened by Dupre, turning his back. And intercepted by Love Handle. Opting to be safe, dishing it back to Mark Worley, resetting. Keeping it in bounds is Edward Katz. Some poachy defense, using a little elevator pass to get over that to Mark Worley. Across to Venenbush, Mark Worley working together. A little tick-a-tack offense. Back to Venenbush, using it to the break side for the score is Steve Helvin.
2-2. After a really long point, both teams have exactly the same number of players on their roster, so long points for those 10 players out. Not necessarily the end of the world, as they can match it. I want to shout out Venenbush here, wearing a pair of sunglasses very similar to the pair that I wear on the beach. Just takes the glare off. But a fantastic reception after a kind of grindy point. It's a close old game, but looking round at the rest of the fields, there is some games going on at the moment. We've got Young Legends and Greywatch up against each other. Greywatch 5-1 up in 15 minutes. Spangled and Carbone 2-2. Team Finland and that mixed side 2-3. And Notsu-O kind of dominating Sweet Courier 6-1. No score reported from Hurt and Kui down under. I hope that it's not a 15-minute first point for them over there and that their stats are just a bit slow to come in.
So we're getting information in the chat. I've been saying NSOM, actually pronounced Nsom. Fun fact for that, it stands for nothing sexier than Old Montreal is.
Bit of a collision downfield. You see
a bit of a clothesline, it appears.
Papadimitriou on the floor, but getting up
you
slowly.
You could hear from the box saying, "I am so sorry." So some good spirit. It looks like there might be an injury call and an injury taken.
Oh, it's a Papadimitriou for a Papadimitriou. We've done a direct trade there. The 56 shirt for Alexis, directly traded for Stanlas.
And there's another foul called between the same matchup there. Lieneberg and Papadimitriou. But uncontested. Can be quite difficult sometimes in sand. The disc is with LeBlanc in the end zone of Nsom. To the sideline. Prescott gets it off to Dassault with a flick across the field and a continuation. Now looking for the end zone, and it was just thrown away.
Fortunate there.
There was a foul on that throw, which does make some sense, as that did seem to float in a way that is a bit untraditional. Disc has been tapped back in. Dassault with the disc now on the far sideline, and another stoppage. A pick was called within the vertical stack in the end zone there.
Number of calls picking up in this game. I think when games get close and it's covered quite a lot of time, sometimes these cally games can really slow down the flow. So hopefully both teams are able to neaten up their offense to try and reduce the number of picks being called.
Disc back in, Dassault throwing to Papadimitriou, the sub for the score. Well done to work himself into that open side, so tight to the sideline, and keep his feet in bounds while catching that disc.
Yeah, absolutely. That takes us to 3-2 in this power pool game. Both teams kind of working each other hard after a pretty ropey couple of points from both, with plenty of turnovers. We're starting to see things look a little bit neater. They're far from perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely been a bit of a slog this first half so far, but we'll see if both teams can kind of let those nerves go. Maybe it's the, like we said, the post-lunch sort of lull. But 18 minutes into the game now, we're looking at 3-2 to Nsom.
As we see, I believe that Love Handles have opted for one female matching player, as we've said multiple times. It's a loose mix here with the offense deciding the gender split. I think they've actually chosen two, so two female matching players out there ready to grind for their team.
Potash collecting the pull, centering it, immediately taking an undercut. Katz with the disc now. Looked for Worley. Dalila Chu with the disc. And a visionary look to that far side, looking at the receiver, Ponetta, taking that one away with her height. And an easy pop pass into the end zone for Edward Katz's score.
A goal is a goal. 3-3. Quite fairly neat.
Yeah, that looked much cleaner after we had just said that it was starting to potentially get a bit of hesitation from some of them.
Super aggressive throw there as well.
I loved that from Chu, looking to cross the field and knowing that you have a receiver that might be quite a fair margin taller. As you said, that O-line did look particularly tall coming out on offense. On beach, it's hard to jump and contest those.
Yes. I feel like on beach, when you jump up, the sand sucks you down. So when you think you've got a huge vert, you've probably only taken yourself about a couple of inches off the floor. Nsom on offense now. 3-3, very, very close in these initial first couple of points. Only 6 played on to the 7th.
Ooh! The pole being caught, though it looked like it was potentially going out if it had been left. With the disc now, Dassault on the far side. Thrown upfield to Papademetrio, but a foul cooled some contact between Papademetrio and Lawson. High fives across. Papademetrio keeping the disc.
Some players coming onto the pitch, potentially looking like an injury sub there. So Garvey coming off, kind of still holding that shoulder, obviously has giving them some problems since the layout. You see his teammate there in Ponetta, just giving him a walk over, making sure he's okay. Subs are done, the disc will be tapped in shortly and we're in play.
Disc reset to Brissett. Looks to continue the swing, opts for Jerema. Across to Dassault again. Love that backhand fake from the lefty and then shooting across. Just overthrown again, a miscommunication and a turnover between Jerema, the receiver.
Yeah, I think that point started almost a little bit confused because the disc was caught at the back of the end zone, even though it was almost certainly going to be landing out. But Nsom clearly thought, hey, we can move it from here. Didn't take the centering pass, then there was an injury, then there was a foul. So potentially Nsom a little bit out of rhythm, and I think that could show there by that miscommunication downfield.
Bush with the disc, throwing under to Kraka. Oh, and just overthrows Lawson. Nsom looking for the fast break. Dassault with a huck, shooting deep for the score. It was to Papademetrio.
Yeah, that was a really good strike there from Nsom, kind of taking momentum upfield and then just attacking the open side. Sometimes that is all it takes on beach, is just to be a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive than your defender, and that is what happened there. It's 4-3, proving to be quite a close game, Alana.
Yeah, definitely. Keeping it interesting.
So we see just a slight outrun there. Papademetrio just kind of able to outpace, gets ahead, and we've mentioned time and time again, you don't need that much separation here on the beach, and that's a prime example of that. Hands in the air from Nsom, ready to get this point underway.
Another 2 female matching point opted by Love Handles. Disc centered to Potash and then brought across.
Ponetta just overthrowing there, as you can see. Potentially got a swat.
And another flick huck, but this one connecting to Graton, shooting from Drouin.
Yeah, really,
that is
really
a break
nice throw.
for Nsom.
It is 5-3 and perfectly weighted. You see one flick from Ponetta going upfield and unsuccessful, but then a perfect attack back with exactly the same strategy for the goal. Punishing almost.
Punishing, definitely. That's where if you can really take advantage of some mistakes early in the game, can come back to haunt you.
Absolutely.
Especially when you capitalize as quickly as that D-line just did. Bringing a fresh new D-line onto the field. Love Handles choosing to keep a number of their players from that last O-line point.
Yeah, Love Handles had a good day yesterday, but probably not what they wanted, winning 13-5 to Mountain Beaches, sorry, and then losing but twice to Team Finland and then her earlier this morning. So only one win under their belt. Probably going to want to be pushing a little bit harder to get this one in.
Good pull, rolling to the back of the end zone, but staying in. Keenan delivering that across to Steve Helvin. Looks dumped to Katz. Still fairly far in the end zone, and that's a turnover, though a foul was called. Believe it could have been an attempted foot block by number 20, LeBlanc. Helvin now with the disc, but there seems to be another stoppage.
Potentially a pick or a push-off foul being called.
Helvin keeping the disc. Across to Worley. Flick, Huck, shooting for Keenan. Ooh. And that is a score for Keenan. Fantastic grab. You could see that there was just enough float on that. Keenan working hard to try and get there.
Yeah, disc was dropping really hard. Had to push, and managed to get hold of it. So good from Keenan. And what a kind of effortless throw as well.
Absolutely fabulous.
Mark Worley there just kind of sits it out nicely, trusts the receiver, and down she goes. What a fantastic score. Both hands on the disc to secure it. That's what we like to see. Far too many people go for a single hand catch and are unsuccessful, but that is one way to do it.
Love that little dance and celebration. Again, Jack and MJ better be behaving yourselves. Your mom's working hard out here.
Nsom now, how to respond, 5-4. They are 2 breaks in the good, so they're up. But if Love Handles here are able to get another break, the game gets a little bit closer, a little bit more squeaky. I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see a timed half-time with 27 minutes, nearly 28 minutes on the clock. When that happens, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. We probably won't get to 7 prior to a half-time.
It should be at 25, though with a volunteer, I can't quite see if they've indicated before this point or after benefits and disadvantages of being up in this commentary box. That pull going out of bounds and bricked. The brick here on beach can be somewhat punishing. It's about a third of the way up the field, which is a bit of a different ratio than on grass.
Definitely punishing. This is such a slow walk to center the disc there. However, I feel like it's almost worse for the defenders.
Disc in the hands of Millet, immediately looking for a backhand Huck. Receiver not quite in the end zone, Fafard. Remaining patient, little dish across to Marceau. Looks like there's an up-down question, and she's saying she caught it off of her legs. It did not hit the sand. She had control using her thighs as she dropped to the knees to try and catch that one. Difficult facing away from us. I didn't quite have a good shot of that, but nice and patient. Immediately looking to the break side, and a huge layout.
So good.
Fantastic from Fafa. Really running that point. He was the one that had caught that deep shot as well.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
Definitely running that point for Nsom.
I feel like Luan there threw that out and maybe wasn't looking for Fafard, but a goal is a goal. And that is 6-4 for Nsom. You saw the players there in that up and down call potentially looking like there was some arguments. From our perspective, there was a lot of smiles on those faces. I feel like these two teams have probably been playing against each other for years, maybe not on these retrospective teams, but definitely as personnel, and you can see it all very friendly there. A beautiful dish backfield, and that is the disc. I feel like it was almost going for Dupré, but no, who else other than Farfad to catch it?
Love that there was two of them. I think you're right, it was intended receiver to be Dupré, but I love that effort from Farfad to be able to kind of back up his teammates. Sometimes that's what you need, and in that case, it pays off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have had half time now, so the possessions will change. Nsom with a huge advantage here, coming out on offense after the half, after breaking first point when they were on D. Love Handles trailing 6-4.
A huge pull going up. A bit too high, catching that wind, and it sails out of the sideline. It's being bricked. The team from Montreal walking the disc back in. Drouin with the disc. Tapped in. Takes his first option, Graton, some handler give-go movement, and I love that backhand shot to Millet across the field. That was fantastic. The defender almost had no chance on that.
Yeah, nothing that they could do except watch Millet just run across to that far sideline and just snaffle the disc up so easily. And what a throw from Juan as well. Effortless. Nsom showing their class here. After a couple of ropey first points and a couple of ropey first points after that, Nsom starting to put their foot on the gas now. So we see it again. Just threw it before he even saw anyone going. That was clearly a set play. You strike there, 7 cut in the end zone, and I'll meet you on the other side with the disc, and that is exactly what happened. If we watch it again, I think you could almost say it's a no look. Just sends it, and it sits perfectly.
That is very impressive float.
Beautiful drone shots here. Shout out Billy, doing a fantastic job. The drones really give us a different perspective of how to see the field, see the spacing, see how things happen. It's so good to have 3 perspectives this week. So shout out to everyone here in the media crew who's helping bring this stream to everyone at home.
The pole has gone up and it's fielded by Lance Lawson. Sent it to Potash. Didn't love the first cut from Katz. Chooses to hit Mark Worley, sends it to that far side. Believe that receiver was Potash. Oh, sorry, that's Edward Katz, but it just sails out of bounds. Jarema picking up the disc now. Papa Dimitru to Dissol. Running deep is Jarema for the score.
What a goal.
Fabulous movement there. Bring the disc off the sideline. Handle movement through the middle. Streaking deep.
It's a break for Nsom, 8-4. I said it just a few points ago that Nsom are starting to show their class. That's 2 really, really classy offensive plays in 2 points. That's something to do for the stream, something to watch back at home. Going to be interesting to see what Love Handles do here. Hopefully they don't start to lose faith and they start to kind of feel like they're losing and there's no point, and they're able to kind of keep pushing. These players have been playing for many, many years, so hopefully they bring the fire now and able to push on. See Helvin on the line, the 27 shirt, been playing for 30 years. You see Keenan on the pitch as well. 36 years. These players have been playing for longer than I have been playing ×3. So hopefully they have lots of strategy up their sleeves.
That pole sailing out of bounds, catches the wind again. Fair amount of these poles being bricked. Walked in by Helvin of Love Handles. Takes the reset. Oh, and a big layout, but it was caught by Helvin. Gets up, throws the flick huck, aiming for Wally, but it just floats in the air too high. Great defensive pressure there by Luan.
Fantastic work.
He picks up the disc, centers it to Fafard. A pop pass to Luan, shooting deep, and that's a D by Rhonda Cracker from Love Handles. Picking up the disc is Keenan. That inside break, looking for Wally. I think he didn't realize it was to him, thought it was to a receiver that was behind him in a blind spot. Turned around and realized just a touch too late that was for him to try and get. Nsom getting it off the sideline, shooting across the field to Fafard for the score. Luan and Fafard's connection makes you wonder how much they've played together over the years, whether it be in Montreal or not.
Luan been playing for 20 plus years, it says here. Didn't play at university, which is where most people, regardless of years of playing, started. Has a national beach title with Hurt, which is another team here representing, but this time jumped into a different division. We see
a timeout has been called on the field. I'm not sure exactly which team had called that, but we're going to take a break here as well in the booth. And we are back at the beach in Portimão after that timeout. I believe it was called by Love Handles. Looking to run a 2 female matching point again. I love the use of their women. And it's great that we've moved this division. Used to purely be open. It's now obviously this loose mix makes it a little bit more accessible. Maybe in time it will move to more standard mixed But for now, it means that we do have a full 24 teams that are here and able to play.
Absolutely, such a fantastic opportunity for all these players to get back out here and show us what they're made of after all their years of practice. Nsom currently up with a really fairly dominant lead. I think they're going to be pretty pleased with how it's going so far. A brick pull going out as we see Potash walking to the brick mark. Ready to get the disc in play now. Violation being called, but I don't think it is one. Disc is tapped in.
Immediately hits Wally and then pops it back to Potash. Fakes to Chu to get out of the lane there. Goes to Venenbush. To Wally. Chu with a lovely bounce cut and just overthrown from Mark Wally. Everything's taking just a bit longer on sand. It's so hard to move. That change of direction was very nice from Delilah Chu. Had the defender sold.
Absolutely, had me sold. I thought that disc was in it. As we see another timeout being called. Don't hate it. There's about 3.5 minutes being left on the clock, so I wouldn't be surprised if Nsom is sort of using that as an example to have a quick chat, quick burn of the clock. Let's take a look at the rest of the games going on here at the tournament in this 2:30 time slot. Obviously, we've got Nsom and Love Handles 9-4 in Nsom's favour. Young Legends 5-8 down to Greywatch, who we saw beat Notsuo earlier today in a fantastic victory. They came in 12th seed and they defeated the first seed and previous winners. Spangled up 8-3 on Carbon from France. Spangled, that USA side, kind of dominating here. Closest game in this division at the moment, 8-7. Team Finland up against that mixed side with some players from the old Paganello side team, and 11-1 hurt against Kui Down Under. That's a disappointing scoreline for them, and no surprises, but Notsuo Houston backwards have already defeated Sweet Courier with a 13-2 scoreline. Timeouts here are just 45 seconds, but often a minute and a half by the time you've gathered, spoken, and then broken back out into position. Nsom now with the disc, going to be tapped in shortly by Love Handles.
Jurema from Nsom, allowing the offense and defense to get set. It's now been tapped in. A nice handless act there from Love Handles. LeBlanc back across into the middle now to Prescott. LeBlanc. A couple of double cuts there. And that's across to Claire Guy. Nice poach in the lane, but manages to cut through it as Papa Demetrio. Prescott back to Jurema. And an open receiver, Claire G. Lovely work to find that open receiver on the break side.
Yes,
a
so
nice
good.
Rolling outside in flick. And Claire G just grabbing two hands on the disc and then hitting the floor, but securing the catch.
Yeah, so good. Kind of saw the body kind of ricochet forward as quickly as possible when she got hold of that disc. Just to secure it, takes the disc to the ground to make sure it doesn't pop out. As we see it again here now, so free in that far corner, and a little flick too far, but straight down, drops a knee, and layout score for fantastic work. 10-4 now in this pool game. Love Handles potentially run out of steam. I think this will probably be the last point we see before the soft cap goes. So depending on who scores what will be what the final point could be. Nsom have a massive advantage here with just 15 seconds left on the clock before that soft cap whistle goes.
The pull goes up and is fielded by Lance Larson, and there is a D on that first pass by Fafard. Immediately, the disc was picked up by Millet, shooting for Fafard. Fabulous work there.
Yeah.
Not much to be said other than that was a great chase down of the pull. A great pull as well, giving him enough time to get down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fafard coming in and getting the score. Someone who I would say probably is the top statter on this team. There it is, Fafard with 8 stats to their name. A fantastic performance so early on in the tournament. It's 5 goals, 3 assists, 6 goals now, 2 assists.
And coming out of halftime, the score was only 6-4 at half. It's now been 5 on the trot for Nsom, really taking over the second half. This should be the cap gone now. We're in to the 46th minute.
It will be game to 12, so Love Handle's opportunity to win, probably starting to lose its opportunity here. I think they'd have to do a miracle to get this game back, but let's see what they can do in the closing minutes at this point. Nsom do have to break to take the win, so Love Handles could slot in a 5th point here.
The pull was bricked, being walked in now by Venebush. Immediate slash cut by Keenan. Looking deep for the receiver.
Woo!
Lovely barrel roll to keep that one in.
Lovely point.
That is a score for Jerome Molemaker.
They're going to be really pleased with that. That's fantastic. The isolation downfield and then just this beautiful backhand just leading the receiver into field. And what a catch. Little roly-poly dive. Fantastic athleticism for the secure catch. And that is a goal, 5-11.
Fun history of Molemaker, who scored that last point. He's from the Netherlands, started playing with UFO from Utrecht before moving to the United States.
I can see their occupation, oceanographer. I reckon they've got some cool stories.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to go down after this match and ask some questions.
Their career highlight is discovering how great Beach Ultimate is, and I couldn't agree more. Beach Ultimate, is it the best surface? Some would say yes, some would say grass, some would say indoors, but I think the last 2 weeks that we've had here in Portimão have put Beach Ultimate on the map. And what amazing, amazing work everyone has done to do that. We had the World Beach Ultimate Club Championships last week, and this week we've got the Great Grand Masters Division coming out on the sand and showing what they've got. Brick pull for Love Handle. Nsom have the disc to win. Can they make it 12-5, or will Love Handles put in a 6th point?
Druon walking the disc to the brick mark. A bit of poachy defense, especially off of the handlers. Manages to break to the far side. Graton. Disc going up for Druon, but just too high. Well contested by the Love Handles defender. Ponetta with the disc in the middle. Across to Chu. And the disc sails a bit too high, I believe, for the intended receiver, but it looks like Albenberg had a hand on that and is cooling a strip, uncontested, and is tapped back in. Back to Ponetta. Flick, huck. Oh, and able to get under it is Richard Hart, dishing into the end zone.
A goal is a goal. Is it being called a goal? I believe it is. It's 11-6.
Goal for Jeff Albenberg. Great thing, his sporting hero is his wife, Keenan.
Oh.
That's on this team. That girl's got grit. Another youth coach that we have. Local high school team coach. Living in Colorado, I love to see that.
Yeah, fantastic. to see people sharing their wealth of experience with the world. Richard Hart there, the number 3 shirt with that fantastic layout. 35 years they have been playing, started at the University of Virginia, and something they have noted as their career highlight is the deep friendships that they have made. A nice little note, Frisbee is an amazing community and you meet so many awesome people.
Really cool. He founded LA Los Angeles organization of ultimate teams. That's why I first started playing, so thank you for doing that, because without layout I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be playing. Nsom with the disc onto the far side. It's Papa Dimitriou. Resets it into the center to Dreama. Looking for the flick. A low throw, but a nice grab by Dassault. Back to Dreama. Oh, and just too far. Looks like there might have been a foul called on that throw. Uncontested, or accepted rather. Force of habit now that the language has changed on that.
Yeah, we have seen this week a few of the old rules coming back, specifically the hand signals.
Move to the far side is Dassault. Something called in the stack, probably a pick. But Dassault should be having the disc self-checked. Some Hanley give-go motion. Back to Dassault. Looking at the break side options. And shooting something up over the top for the score.
That's the win.
Nsom taking it with the final score to Dreama.
What a game. It doesn't feel like this was the same game that happened at the beginning that was very, very messy. Loads of turnovers from both teams, drops, throwaways, misconnections, but we've seen some really classy offense from both sides. Love Handles had a beautiful offensive point just a few minutes ago, but we see Nsom there taking the victory. Little fist pump with the disc above the head, and that is game.
So that does bring in the final game of the day to be quite interesting for most of this pool. I believe Hut is the only one guaranteed into the playoffs of the round of 16. Depending on the results of the next games in the 5 o'clock round, that will determine who else goes straight into that round of 16 and who goes to a pre-round of 16, also known as a crossover here in Europe.
Pre-quarter?
Well, it's pre-quarter.
A pre-quarter. A
That's
double
a round of 16.
Schedule's ever so confusing. That's why I'm often glad I'm here in the commentary booth rather than trying to figure out where my team needs to go. Nsom take the win, 12-6. Fantastic showing from the rest of the tournament. Let's have a look at what's been going on around the rest of the fields, because time is not over for most teams. Young Legends, Grey Watch, they're still fighting out. Last point, 6-9 in Grey Watch's favor. Spangled defeated Carbone 10-4. Team Finland defeated the mixed side 11-7. And I do believe that Hurt did take Hui down under 13-1.
Thank you so much for joining us here at ULTI.TV on behalf of Amelia Durbin and myself, Alana Archer. Thank you, and join us again soon.
Thanks. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, ultimate.
ULTI.TV.